Imagine this: a courtroom drama where the cameras may have influenced the verdict. That can't be true, can it? Hi, I'm Allie, and I am still covered in dust from a late-night ghost hunt at an abandoned farmhouse. Worth it, by the way.
And I'm Brianne. I did not go ghost hunting. I went to bed at a sensible hour with tea and a book like a civilized human.
You know what? One of us has to keep it spooky, but both of us are here for the messy truth. Welcome to the Veil, unsolved and unbelievable. Okay, so check this out. Today I'm bringing you my theory I call the Walterboro feedback loop. It's about how the Alex Murdaugh murder trial in Walterboro kind of turned into a TV show in real time, and how that vibe seeped back into the courtroom.
Conspiracy alert. I'm curious, but also bracing. How does a murder trial become what? A season finale?
Here's what went down. Fast basics first. The Murdaugh family is legal royalty down in South Carolina's Low Country. Longtime prosecutors, tons of influence. In June 2021, Alex's wife Maggie and son Paul were shot to death near the dog kennels on their Moselle property in Islandton. Different weapons for each. A rifle for Maggie and a shotgun for Paul. It was brutal. Alex told investigators he'd gone to see his mom, who has dementia, but digital forensics shredded that alibi. The big one was Paul's 8:44 p.m. kennel video. You can hear Alex's voice right there minutes before the state says the murders happened. Phone pings, car telemetry, the whole digital trail locked him in. The trial kicked off in January 2023 in Walterboro with Judge Clifton Newman on the bench and prosecutors led by Creighton Waters. The media called it South Carolina's trial of the century. Cameras everywhere, live-streamed verdict, all of it. The judge allowed evidence of Alex's financial crimes as motive. Looming exposure, missing funds, clients, colleagues, a bank exec, which widened the story. The defense fought the forensics, questioned time of death, argued the scene was mishandled by SLED, and even floated the idea of two shooters. Meanwhile, the jury visited Moselle to see the kennels, a rare move. There was a bomb threat in February 2023 that shut everything down for hours. 2 jurors tested positive for COVID, and another was later dismissed for discussing evidence. By March 2023, the jury returned a guilty verdict on all counts in under 3 hours. And the next day, Alex received 2 consecutive life sentences. Then came the fallout and appeals. And this is key. In 2026, the South Carolina Supreme Court overturned the murder convictions and ordered a new trial, citing shocking jury interference by Colleton County Clerk of Court Rebecca Hill. Hill later pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice, perjury, and misconduct in office in 2025. She had even published a book about the case. The High Court said her interference tainted the verdict. Also worth noting, Alex remained locked up anyway on long state and federal sentences for financial crimes, about 40 years in federal prison with restitution. So he didn't just walk out.
So far that's law and fact. Ugly but straightforward. Where does your feedback loop come in?
All right, moving on. My theory is this. Walterboro wasn't just a trial. It was a live production that started shaping how people behaved inside the courthouse. Cameras amplify. They don't just record. The more the spectacle grew, the more court actors and even the rhythm of events bent toward TV beats. And sometimes, when you turn the volume up on a story, people start playing to it. Think about the beats. Live streams day after day, wall-to-wall coverage, the Attorney General himself doing a direct exam on a rebuttal expert. That's a set piece. Then a literal bomb threat in February 2023. Hours outside with cameras pivoted to yellow tape. Instant cliffhanger energy. When everyone files back in, the tension is cranked. That's a feedback loop. The spectacle spikes and testimony feels weightier because we just lived through a dramatic interruption.
Or, hear me out. A bomb threat is a security problem, not a screenwriter in the rafters. Sorry. Not sorry.
Sure, but layer on the juror volatility. 2 out with COVID, another dismissed for talking about evidence, plus that unusual on-site visit to Moselle. Bus to the property, walk the distances. It reads like an on-location episode. And with the clerk of court, this matters. She writes a book, she pleads guilty to misconduct, and the Supreme Court says her interference was shocking. Under that kind of media heat, I believe she started playing to the cameras and to the narrative. and that bled into juror space.
I'll grant you the clerk's misconduct. That's on the record, and it's outrageous. But we can't jump from there to cameras steering a verdict. The judge controlled the courtroom. Judge Newman admitted the financial motive evidence after an in-camera preview and legal argument. He denied the directed verdict. He charged the jury properly. Those are rulings, not lighting cues.
Back to the facts. The digital case was strong. Paul's 844 video, phone metadata, vehicle telemetry, friends recognizing Alex's voice at the kennels. No argument there. But the speed of the verdict, under 3 hours after weeks of complex forensics and conflicting experts, paired with the courtroom's TV atmosphere, makes me think the audience energy seeped into deliberations before deliberations even started. That's the loop. The show vibes shape the room, and the room feeds the show.
Or the verdict was quick because the integrated digital timeline was cohesive, and the defense experts, while spirited, didn't crack it. Also, the reversal in 2026 wasn't about cameras. It was specifically about the clerk's interference compromising juror integrity. The court didn't say the media did it. They said the clerk did it. Full stop.
Okay, but seriously though, the clerk's misconduct didn't happen in a vacuum. When everyone's watching, you get temptations, attention, book deals, the little nods from the press pen. That's exactly how a feedback loop works. The spectacle rewards performance. And when the person managing jurors performs, you get taint. The Supreme Court's word, not mine.
I hear you. But let's put a pin in the seduction of attention and look at the machinery. Prosecutors didn't seek the death penalty, which narrowed the drama. Parallel state and federal fraud cases guaranteed Alex would remain in custody even if the murder case shook loose. That's prosecutorial strategy, not a media plot. And digital forensics, not satellites and stagecraft, undid his alibi.
Totally. But those same facts were packaged to the world like episodes. HBO Max, Netflix, ID, Hulu, the podcasts, the live countdowns to verdict. Cameras don't create evidence, they create momentum. And I'm saying that momentum nudged choices, like greenlighting the site visit and like the clerk blurring lines. Isn't that bananas?
Nanas, yes, but also human. My take, the trial was decided by data that put Alex at the kennels, his admitted lies about being there, and the financial spiral that the judge allowed in for motive. The bomb threat, the juror swaps, the Attorney General's cameo, colourful, sure, but not causal.
And my take is, the Walterboro feedback loop is real. I believe the spectacle reframed the trial in people's heads inside the courthouse, especially the clerk, and that framing mattered. Cameras didn't invent the 844 video, but they did turn the whole process into a season, and some folks started acting accordingly.
So the greater question we're both poking at is simple and messy. How much does media shape not just public perception, but the behaviour of the people inside the system?
Back to the story. If you want a crash course in the case and the media storm, watch Murdaugh Murders, a Southern Scandal on Netflix. It's a solid primer.
Right, moving on. After we wrap, I'm making tea and starting a legal thriller that does not involve real clerks writing books.
I'm queuing up a spooky podcast and also cleaning my EMF reader because, obviously. Thanks for hanging with us. Stay curious, stay kind, and question everything.